All right, guys, so real quick, Dario Saric was just traded as I was uploading this video to the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was the best play on the board today, given the value. So I have him at the start of this video, at just talking about the situation that's going on. Ignore that. Okay. And he was actually the number one core play on the slate. I went ahead and I redid that section for you guys. So we'll touch on that in this video as well. All right, guys. So I think we have all the slate impacting news for Trade Thursday in for the day, most likely. Fingers are crossed. I tried to wait as long as I could to make this video, but going to be getting into the top core plays for this 4-game slate. And it is actually a unique slate in which there's a lot of value and we can pay up for some studs. So we'll give you guys that line of process at the end of this video as well. So obviously the biggest news on today's slate is the fact that the Suns traded a lot of assets today. Obviously for KD, they traded away Jay Crowder. So there's going to be a lot of minutes opened up, and that's going to be where the best value is at on the slate. And just looking at it across the board, Dario Saric projected to get 29.6 minutes. We got Torrey Craig projected to get 29.6 minutes. Lee projected to get 30. Wainwright, 26. Josh, 22. Like, there are just so many minutes available for the Phoenix Suns, and they kind of get a good matchup against Atlanta, a pretty close game, relatively speaking, and a 229 over and under, which is pretty good as well. There's going to be a lot of value there with their price points. You know what, like with Miami yesterday, there was a lot of strong kind of plays with them, but at the same time, they were pretty much priced correctly to the point where it didn't seem like we were getting like free squares per se, where today with Phoenix, the way that they're priced, like Saric, if he is going to get those minutes, pretty much a free square. Torrey Craig should be able to easily hit value at that price tag. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off. Going to start off with my core plays, number 5. So I have 2 core plays for number 5. That is going to be Torrey Craig as one of them, and the other one is also going to be a Phoenix Suns player. We don't have a big sample size with all these players off the court, obviously, so it's tough to really gauge how we should properly be valuing the situation, but we know Torrey Craig is going to get a lot of minutes as long as this game stays close. And if he is someone that's going to get around, let's say 32 minutes, we look at the games in which he has gone over 30 minutes, 22 DK points, 34 DK points. We look at FanDuel, it's going to be the same, against Minnesota, 32 minutes, 28, against Golden State, 33, 36. So as long as the minutes are there, this is going to be a very strong price point play. Now, I don't think it's as good as some of the other plays that are out there, but it should be a very strong one today. And then to me, I feel like Lee is going to be much more of a kind of, I don't want to say GPP only play, but kind of a GPP only play. And that's because most of his production tonight will probably come from points. But if he's also going to be someone that's getting, this run that he had in this stretch here, I think we can expect around this production, around 20 fantasy points. And at this price tag, that is going to be too good to pass up on. So I'm kind of cheating there, putting them 2 together. I kind of value them the same. Core play number 5A and 5B. There we go. Now, core play number 4 for me is going to be Giannis, and that is simply just because he is priced up extremely high. But at the same time, this is a price tag in which we might be forced into playing and paying up for, given the nature of the slate, because we have so much value. Now, I could see why you don't want to play him, and if you choose not to, it works because you could play AD, you could play LeBron. And this is a slate in which, you could probably get away with playing AD or LeBron. Okay, just looking at the OF index, sorting by kind of salary and whatnot. And I know that actually suggests that we probably should go DeJounte Murray or Drew Holiday, just given their current price tags. But for me, on this slate in which we have so much value, we know that Giannis is kind of a known factor in terms of his production and in terms of how this game should go. We don't exactly know what to expect from the Lakers with the trades that they made, okay? And so he is going to be my core play number 4 for that reason, because it's going to be super easy to fit him in. As long as the game stays close for long enough, he should be able to go off. He would have had 2 straight triple-doubles if this game against Portland had stayed close, okay? He's been on a tear lately. I mean, just look at this production. I'm a Bucks fan, but if he continues this Bucks fan, there's no way he doesn't win the MVP, just been insanely dominating lately. And sure, some of the matchups have been more favorable during that stretch, but he has still been going off. And so another core play for me is going to be Nick Claxton, okay? Still at a strange price point, especially on DraftKings. Maybe on FanDuel, you could think about potentially fading it because 8.4 is a decent price tag. Obviously on center, or on FanDuel, you'd be taking up a center position. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But this game is actually surprisingly close. Okay, Brooklyn just traded away a bunch of their studs. And with that, Claxton has really stepped up into a prominent role. 3 straight games now where he's had over 40 DK points, and he gets a matchup against Chicago, which is one I'm not too worried about. The rebounds have been there. The points have been there. Sure, he could have an off game. Okay, and it's tough to say exactly what's going to occur tonight with Dinwiddie and DFS playing tonight, Finney Smith playing tonight. But at the same time, like I'm more worried about like Cam Thomas and like the other players more so than Claxton, because if anything, his minutes should be locked in. And if we look at the bigs for the Brooklyn Nets, they have one with Sharp, who's currently questionable. So if he sits, that should lock in more minutes for Claxton. Now, TJ Warren, gone. Okay. Utah, currently questionable. Okay. So they might be forced into playing Ben Simmons, maybe at the 5 spot tonight if that injury news occurs. And honestly, he wouldn't be a terrible play. Okay. If that does occur. But that's my long way of saying, like, regardless of how the game goes, Claxton should kind of be locked into 36 minutes or so, especially if that injury news occurs. So he should be a strong price point play tonight. And so he's coming in as core play number 3. So core play number 2 for me is going to be Jokic. Okay, once again, this is a slate in which I think we can easily afford to pay up for the studs, and I want to be doing that. So my goal is to get, around 50 from Jokic and around 50 from Giannis. But as a whole, like combined, I'm trying to get, let's just say, 110 points. Okay, so a little bit more than that on average. Obviously, if we get that, that's huge. Okay, I know I said Giannis has been on track to be an MVP. Well, you could easily argue Jokic has been as well. To me, right now, and this is probably a hot take, I would say it's between these two, as it kind of should be. I know Tatum's been playing lights out, but just these two have been on an insane run, and we can get them together now tonight. The game against Orlando might be one you're a little bit worried about. Okay, the last time out against Orlando, 59. We would take that. A triple-double machine. We could be potentially getting 2 triple doubles tonight in our build, so I'll be taking that. And then the top core. All right, guys, so with Dario Saric being traded, I do think the natural next best play for the Suns, and maybe he's not core play number 1, but he is certainly someone that we're going to be looking at now on the slate at the minimum price. It's going to be Ish Wainwright. He's just going to be the natural player that gets the next minutes there. The Suns are so thin, we need to be loading up on a decent amount of Suns. Man, Bones Highland just traded to the Clippers as well. The news is flying in. Sorry. It is going crazy today. NBA trade deadline is a lot of fun, but Wainwright here, he would be a pretty good play. Okay, just in general, we have seen him get games in which he has, around 25 fantasy points, which at the minimum price we would certainly take. If he's someone that needs to get 30 minutes, the last time he got 30 minutes, he saw 24 DK points. So at this price tag would be someone we're looking at as well. Okay, so let's now try to close out this build. It's going to be very difficult, and I am going to do something kind of weird here. We got news that DeMar DeRozan could sit, and the Chicago Bulls might be getting rid of the blunder that was Zach LaVine, which probably also sounds weird to say. I don't think how he plays is like winning basketball, and I don't want to give my NBA opinions. I apologize here. But they could be getting rid of him today. There's rumors swirling around that he could get traded to the Knicks. Okay, so even with that, he could maybe even sit regardless of that. I know the trade deadline happens probably a few hours after this video gets posted. So we'll have that news. Okay, now if he gets traded, and also DeMar DeRozan is currently questionable, if those two players sit, then we could have some good value. IO at point guard would be a decent value price point play in that situation. He's been playing a lot of minutes already. So I would already say that he is going to be a very solid price point play. If we get news that one of those two are sitting, then he's someone that I firmly like even more. Now, Caruso is going to be active in this game, so we'd be kind of picking and choosing between Caruso or Kobe White. I think I'd rather go with Kobe White then if those two players are out. Okay, so with that, and I'm actually curious as to who the Knicks would be giving up to get LaVine. It seems strange, right? I don't know how that would work. I kind of thought some teams would be going after LaVine. It's just interesting there. Obviously, it is trade Thursday, okay? There's going to be more news that breaks probably. So just want to remind you guys to be in the Discord chat before lock. We got Jayhawk in there tonight, okay? It's going to be live before lock, answering your guys' questions one-on-one. If you have those questions, he'll get those answered. So be in the Discord chat before lock. Links to that are in the description below, okay? And also links to the Occupy Fantasy NBA model are in there as well as the lineup builder as well. So make sure to be checking that out. All right, let's have a good slate. Let's have a fun trade Thursday. And as always, good luck.